If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, this is game 2 of the day. Copenhagen Wolves up against 3D Max. It will be a best of 3. Let's give you a quick rosters rundown. It is going to be Freeze, Hunden, SMF, Snappy, and Asilion for the Wolves. And of course for 3D Max, Disturbed, Natu, Zart. He's trying to throw me off with that one. Kurun and Stonder. Trying to throw up that tab, trying to catch me off guard. And speaking of getting caught off guard, Freeze goes down on long.
Yeah, and that's going to force Snappy to kind of sit back a little bit deeper and keep everyone into their spots, really, for the CT side. Going to be a little bit more stretched here. But funny enough, the T side not opting for the Tech-9 here. They're not going to be dropping that one down. Natu actually going to go for the Smoke Flash and a nade. So certainly has a plan in mind. It's where they want to take it. Still quite split up. 3-2 across the map. No one touching the bomb. They're playing this quite passively, just seeing maybe how Copenhagen Wolves actually want to play this one and just being quite slow with it. When we get to watch Fnatic general as Pistols, they have that end game in mind. They play to it, and it's normally quite decisive, but it looks like they're building themselves towards B. You can see Caron there just kind of sitting around by the bottom of A, just trying to look for something, maybe head up towards long, but all in all, it looks like it's going to be dropped down that they're going to head towards, I think, 3 players stuck there, and Disturbed starting to make a play. Snappy could get caught out as Caron is doing a wonderful job lurking through. He does catch him in the heels, but he does know they're rotating. Good information, but the push on towards the B side has been thwarted until then. Stonder and Caron do break through, but the bomb not quite to hand, and Asilion still in the back. Yeah,
just the last man there. And we were talking about, obviously, when we saw Cobblestone yesterday, that back wooden shack, you've got to act like you're still in the open. It doesn't give you as much protection as you'd like, which is why he left that, didn't stay there, covering it off instead. 3D Max will get themselves a confident pistol round start.
Where's the UMPs?
All important rounds on the T side.
There's the UMPs, 2 of them coming out. So not doing Disturbed, picking those up. We've got a Scout on the plate for Stonder. Karonga stick with the AK and a Galil for Zard.
Yeah.
So a pretty nice buy up there. And Freeze actually looking for the opener. 3 Scouts on the other side. The CZ and a P250. So they're looking to do some damage here. And this map certainly allows it on all parts. It's very easy to get picked apart. And really, looking at 3D Max, can they kind of negate where those scouts are going to be?
Yeah, you see Hunden just jumping up and trying some chance shots through that smoke. Didn't manage to land anything. I think this time Zart get tagged up by SMF there, though. So they are still probing and prodding. And the reason we mentioned the umps is something they were talking about. And it's like, we've been practicing a lot with this. This is why we've been picking it. It's something that's, I guess, come into its own recently. But here we go. Snappy is going to find one. As Stond pushes on through, Karun does get taken down. They know now that it is going to be an A push. However, that smoke will slow things down. And again, Copenhagen Wolves holding on to the site. Still got those 3 scouts in hand.
I was about to say the one benefit to how this map kind of got changed between the updates. I think most people kind of know them roughly now, but there is still a chance of actually getting from one side to the other. Last time it felt like once you'd committed somewhere, you were there was no changing. But now there's a little bit more fluidity, and you're seeing Natu actually pushing up his own, kind of doing what Caron did before, who went down earlier. Now Hunden is going to have to receive 3 players, making quite the push here. Does get the tacticals first, gets dropped down though, so they should have control of B pretty much cleanly here.
Natu got one before being taken down over on the A side. It's just SMF and Asilion. Looks like they're going to go and save though. They're already backing off. They managed to get that UMP away from Natu. SMF, of course, with the scout. They might try and rescue another scout. Not too sure whether they're going to risk it, though. And this will be 3D Max picking up the round with that bomb plant down. So, good start for 3D Max is what they're going to hope for. They've already picked up more rounds than they did last time they faced each other.
Exactly, doubling what they previously achieved. But yeah, these 16-1 scorelines, I kind of always sometimes sort of think of it as like a mental thing for 3D Max. They just don't like the map on occasion.
Well, not only was it a mental thing, I mean, this was back in, let's have a look, back in December. It was a different map back then. You know, so as they mentioned on the desk, and as you just mentioned, the map has opened up a lot. So you don't often see those big 16-1 scores. We even saw at Katowice much closer matches on Cobblestone.
Thank you, Tech-9. But 3-2 splits done out for the T side, and look, you can see the buy they've got going on. The Caron kind of doing what we saw a couple of teams doing, putting the lurking role if he does play that just with the Tech-9, because they're so confident it'll pick up, you know, a weapon if it's dropped, or just be able to sit on it. And they know that the CT side are going to be struggling a little bit for cash. They do manage to keep, as we noticed, the Scout and that UMP in play. A couple of P250s here and there, a CZ on Freeze, but not much beyond that. And you can see how that's affected Copenhagen Wolves. They've kind of just pushed a little closer, trying to hold those closer angles. But those UMPs are pretty darn good at dealing with that.
Well, B-side almost opened up here. SMF all on his own. Natu's already taken down one. Disturbed, about to find it. Doesn't matter. His partner in crime, Natu, is there, gets himself the second. And that is the B-side completely opened up. Bomb, however, has been left in between the two sites. They're just hunting down Freeze. They're not going to get him just yet. It's the second time of asking, Zart will find him. So, a clean round for 3D Max this time, only Karun going down.
Yeah, I think that's the first time in a while I got to watch actually 3 rounds coming in for, you know, the team who won the first pistol, or 2 off the back, should I say. But it's always been these early turnarounds and these teams kind of doing these weird buyouts. But still, this is a big one coming in. You can see Freeze actually opting for the AWP with no armor, going to be going balls deep on this. He's not messing around, and that's a dangerous thing to go on this. If you spiral, it could be a problem, considering how even this map's become. But it looks like, once again, quite a decisive play towards that B bomb site. Freeze, they're going to be challenge out. I think Stonda is still with the scout as well.
Yeah, choosing to stick with the scout. He's got 6,500, so he could quite easily have gone for the AWP, but instead he's choosing to go for this duel. Whereas Freeze, we can see holding that angle. Not going to get challenged by Stonda. He was peeking in and around him. Karun may well step up towards him, but Zart here on the drop. If he throws that grenade down, it's going to land square at the feet of SMF. It takes him down to 43. Nobody going to follow through yet, though.
I was going to say, the scout is really quite useful on this map as well. You can, as we know, the jump scouts are so accurate. You can actually use them pretty well. But that kill coming in for Cillian is going to force the rest of the T side to make a play towards drop down. Clean exchanges back and forth. Finally ending in favor to the CT side, but they still have a Cillian on this side. Going to go in the aggressive play towards Natu, not going to get it, and that might just give enough to get them on towards the bomb site and get the bomb down. Now Snappy and Freeze on the retake, let's see what they can do.
Oh, he ran straight through that molly. They might not expect him quite up so close. Does get a peek across there, but Zart's already seen him, so Natu's going to know that one is close. Zart gets one, Natu goes down, but Zart cleans up, and that was a big important 4th round for them. That was a full buy for the Wolves, and that's going to set them back. They would have hoped to pick something up from that one in a 2-on-2 situation.
Zart and Natu, 3 and 2 for them both. That was really nicely done in the end. Natu doing wonderfully, and Zart just cleaning up what was left. And Freeze did get a bit of a cheeky shot off them, but not to be enough. 4-0 now, 3D Max, as we said, picking up the first real gun round. And as you mentioned, dropping the CT side back on towards these pistols. We see it still working. Freeze and Snappy are getting quite aggressive on long. However, it's just going to be surely a slower play. No, Cillian actually finds Disturbed. This is where you get that danger. As soon as a gun gets loose, they've got to be so careful of it, because Cillian is dying to jump in there.
God, that grenade did some serious damage. No armor, of course, for Cillian. Means it tags him straight down to 13. Natu will get himself yet another. He started off this game already doing very well. The rest of the Wolves going to try and get around the back, but unfortunately Karun is ready and waiting, and that smoke down there is going to halt this attack, or retake, dead in its tracks.
I think it's boost Snappy up, so he could get into a nice little spot there. I'm not sure if Stonda's watching it already. Yeah, he's keeping tabs on it at least, which is really darn good. None of the CTs have armor, so it's certainly worthwhile maybe trying to pick up a couple of players here if possible. They're holding fairly close, so looking for it. SMF there, tucked in by that second room and drop down, but taken solo very long. But there's Snappy finding Natu, and that was why I was quite impressed with that boost coming in. Gets himself in a good spot and denies at least 1 or 2 guns now away from the T players. And Snappy could do a little bit more here. Having that vertical advantage doesn't get any more in towards Karan, and now Freeze not in a position to get anything out of this. He's going to just have to wait it out with that P250, I think.
And it does not really manage to get any rifles away from either, so 5-0, very good start for 3D Max. Absolutely going to be happy with this. This is Copenhagen Wolves map choice, remember. So they're going to be looking to get a little bit more than this. Now they've gone for the 4-buy. Freeze once again with that AWP. M4's across the board. Stonda this time does have AWP in hand, remember. No more playing around with that scout. Freeze flashed out. It's going to force him away, so he's not going to get any of those early peaks. Meanwhile, the rest of the 3D Max once again. It seems to be Disturbed and Natu constantly probing and prodding at the B side.
But this time though, Zart is actually joining Karan and Stonda, who have been playing over towards A, been working over to it. Freeze does have the armor, misses the first, sadly, opens up for Snappy to go down, and they kind of overwhelm towards A, and they're going to thin out the CT numbers, bringing Freeze and Hunden back towards really focusing towards A, leaving only 2 on B. And this is where 3D Max are doing great. They're picking up the occasional kill and just really forcing the CTs to have to weigh up their options. Hunden, though, moved up a little bit. Karan could be caught off by this if he doesn't check close right. I think Zart's going to smoke up towards connector. Door's now smoked off. Hunden has the spot. Oh, but just Karan quicker on the trigger.
SMF also picks up one. That's over. B side completely cleared out. So now they only need to worry about the A side, and that's where they're coming from. Freeze in perfect position, gets one down, but Ston gets him covered in the crossfire. SMF going to get a blind shot on towards Zart, but somehow some way he comes out on top, and it's Cillian now, the last man standing, already spotted out by Stonder's orb.
That's the
he
bomb.
will manage to get one. That's the bomb carrier down, but the grenade lands square on his noggin, and that will be 6-0 for 3D Max.
That could have been so dangerous. The bomb was just slightly off the site, so it'd have had to have come off it, but that nade just ruined every chance then. And now, once again, CT side could be forced into that predicament of having to force up everything. Now, they're going to have to try and stop 3D Max going on this tear. I haven't actually even checked the money in a while, but, you know, 3D Max are building that bank there. You can see it all over the place. They have everything they want. Molly's now in play. They've got head armor. They've got the orbs on Stonder. And they're starting to look comfortable. And I like it. They're not rushing in towards these sites. They're taking their time, and they're getting the opening picks. Karon and Stonder playing a little bit further back over by A, waiting, see if anyone's going to push up, slowly working in. And on the other side, they're just having to deal with the constant pressure that can be placed down by that drop-down room. So at the moment, if 3D Max keep everything as is, they are absolutely golden if they can keep finding those first and opening picks.
At the moment, they are looking to, again, like you say, slowly working their way in here. This time, Copenhagen Wolves have gone for the 3-stack on the B site. They've managed to get London in the drop. SMF actually going for the rotate.
Running down that low is so important, though.
The calls come out that, yeah, he's half-heartedly going across towards A site, and now he's being drawn back because I think Natu was spotted by Hunden there. Natu well aware of this one. They've played this 6 rounds running already, this exact same situation, so they knows that somebody is running. I think, did he catch a glimpse from him? I think he didn't quite catch him.
Still boosted up as well.
Good backtracking from Hunden as well through that flash.
Thought Cillian was going to actually stay on that ledge then, but did back off as soon as Natu got close. But Freeze finding Natu should slow things down, but no, 3D Max having none of it, working their way on towards B, but still, 2 players are very close this time. Freeze slightly further ahead than usual. He's going to make the most of that. Stonder going to go down, turns for the second, not going to find it. Bomb down, Karon, 4 HP up against Snappy. He's going to make an active peek. He gets a glimpse, but doesn't find any more. Molly goes down. Snappy moving in for it. Karon goes hunting and gets it on the 4 HP. That's a guts, and I can hear him from here getting loud with that. 7-0 now. 3D Max are on a roll.
There's 2 walls between us and the stage, and we even heard him cheering there. 7-0 3D Max from 4 HP. And that Molly helped him because he knew that he had to have gone left side. There's no way he's pushing out to the right, so well played. Well worked by Karunen. Even frags across the board so far for 3D Max. And we were talking about the bank that had built up. Karunen got 11k going into that round. He's already, yeah, he's getting so close, absolutely stonking the money. But I think he's bought for Stond, actually. I think he's managed to get the orb for Stond in there. Which is why we're seeing 3D Max very much in full control. Pistols all around for the Wolves. Just that CZ picked up by Cillian and a couple of 5-7s. But that is all, and remember, this is Copenhagen Wolves map. This is the CT-sided map. This is something that they should be winning. But 3D Max have full control on a map that they openly said they don't enjoy.
Well, at the moment, you're seeing the power of the pistol, though. Cillian does find one, SMM found the other, so they've got the AKs as well to boot. That's the important part, that not only did they get the kill, but they got the gun with it. And now Cillian has armor, got a molly, a flash, and an AK. And Snappy going aggressive, actually spun out too. He knows the information. He should be able to get a little bit of damage there. No, Stonder stops it, but still, information gathered. SMF and Freeze are going to lock on this site, and they're not going to move. Hunden on the rotate, and everyone should be able to focus here. They could turn this one around, and SMF is doing the damage. Great flash comes in. Zart is out of there now. Stonder in a 1v2. Hunden is a mile away, as Cillian has to deal with him. He's took Stonder down so low. This is going to be a tough one for Stonder. I don't think he can do it.
Well, he needs to land one of those first AWP shots, and right now, this is something he has to land. They came at him 2 at a time, and that's exactly what the Wolves needed. That's going to be their first round on the board. No defuse kit, but it doesn't matter. He's rescued the AWP, more importantly, and the round for the Copenhagen Wolves. Finally, they get themselves on the board, but they did lose every member in the process, which means they've got good money coming into this one.
That flash, who was it coming out from? It was whoever was to the right. I think it might have been Hunden who flashed it through the doors, because he literally caught the 2 other players, allowing the others to kind of refocus themselves, and it was just brilliantly timed. But that round from start to finish was a Cillian SMF. And now the T's starting to look a little bit shaky here. Big investment into this one. You've got all the mollies there. You've got the UMP. And, you know, let's be honest here, Natu will still happily pick that UMP up, but all in all, that's going to be a big confidence boost for the Copenhagen Wolves. They needed to get around on the board, and it's great to pick it up off the back of that.
Yeah, off an eco as well. Getting those big important pistol kills has helped them no end in this game. 7-1 though, still, no matter what the score is for the Wolves from right now, it's already a good half for 3D Max. Anything else is pure bonus.
Oh, they're golden now.
7 rounds on the T side. You're going to be delighted with that one. We'll see what the Wolves have to offer when they get onto the T side, but right now we're looking at the last 6 rounds of the first half, and the Wolves have to pick them up.
But Asilian this time is at least in the boost position still. One player slips down towards side, that is Disturbed, but Asilian getting into gear, picking up Zart and Stonda on the push-out. Bomb is still on the ledge, I believe, so Disturbed will have to remantle up unless it just dropped down. I'm not too sure, it doesn't matter. Freeze's nade will bounce into play, and now Karan in a 1v3. Tough one to break through, but he's got the first step.
Managed to get himself into a 2-on-1. Karun's done it once before. Can he do it again? No, Snappy this time gets the better of him. And that will be another important round for the Wolves. They lost 3 members in the process, but all of that money, all of that bank working in their favor. Silion, great double kill for him. Finally starting to get control of this B site.
And it was just great to see him be able to actually hold that spot. Last time it was Natu who came through that drop-down room, kind of pressured it too much. There was too many angles that Asilian would be picked from, so he adjusted. Then it worked out. However, a switch up here, T-side now on the pistols, Tech 9's armor, Deagle here and there. Nothing too crazy, but Freeze is being overwhelmed, and that's the power they can have in these close range quarters. And Zart there going to take down a huge important factor.
Hunden has rotated along with Snappy and SMF all over on the A site now. It's left Asilion on his own. Disturbed is the
Where's the AWP gone?
sole member that's...
Wait, has the AWP gone out the map?
Probing... It looks like it. They were trying to find it. They didn't get it.
Oh, how gutted must they be. It's gone. It must have gone out the window.
That's a little unlucky. Oh well, when you rush the AWP down, you got to check his position before you get the kill, maybe. I don't know. Snappy is in a good position. They have themselves set up on the A site. This is going to be a 5-man push from 3D Max, but they're running into rifles.
Yeah, and SMF and Snappy are set up really nicely. SMF going to bait out a little bit, try and get them running in. Snappy not going to make a move until they actually push in. There he comes in, 2 back-to-back, and then Hunden cleans up. That was a brilliantly played round then. Crossfire was sublime. However, that bit of the start guard from 3D Max, who knows what the difference that gun could have made, but it just went flying off the map, I can imagine. But still, Freeze gets the AWP back. The T side, I think, will have enough to buy up here. Karan's a little strapped for cash, but he will get an AK in his hand. So all in all, it should be a clean round starting out here.
YNK and having a little fun with this one. And of course, alongside Casal as well, both doing the maps for us. The spectating has been done by them, and it's been some long days for them, so credit to them. Snappy gets himself the opening frag of the round, though. Natu with Disturbed. Oh, that grenade square on the feet of both of them.
There's a cheeky old boost.
Trying to get the glimpse. As soon as that smoke clears, he's looking for Hunden, who hasn't been having the greatest of starts in this match
He could
either.
be in trouble if he peeks that corner, though. I think Natu can just about see it. I'm not...
He'll get a glimpse of the head as he comes around the corner. Yeah,
Look
easily.
at that angle. That is beautiful. That's going to give him early control, but there are 2 players, one watching from the window side. And now Snappy getting a little bit of pressure is going to kind of force everyone to try and evaluate where they're at, make sure they're not underestimating. But looking at the T side, the bomb's not even been touched yet. It's still so far back, but there's a player. Oh, Natu just wildly sprays down, doesn't get a thing out of it. Stonda finds Freeze, but they're still at a disadvantage.
Oh, SMF has actually got his back to it. They think they've dealt with now to the problem in the drop, and he's actually going to get the backside of SMF. That's an easy go for him. He doesn't expect the turnaround. Acilio, meanwhile, is going to push up around them, got behind 3D Max, which is what's caught them off guard. That's where the bomb is now dropped. And now Stonda they've got themselves, stole themselves a complete march here on them. They will get the plant, and more importantly, Stonda will get in position to cover off the plant. And this is going to go really well for them if they can pull it off. They've got no smokes to play with, though. And that's a light. Disturbed has one. He hasn't chose to use it, that's all. Instead, well, maybe he should have, because Snappy and Asilion just come around the side and cover off the bomb with ease.
But still, as serious as Natu looks, you've got to be pretty happy with 7 rounds early into this game. You know, Copenhagen Wolves working their way back in. It just looks as though 3D Max this time aren't getting those easy opening picks. I say easy. Easier opening picks. Copenhagen Wolves seem to have kind of slowed themselves down, played this really careful game, not going too crazy on the pushes there until they get that opener, and then they play off the back of it. And now it's like that slightly smarter game they're bringing out. But Snappy going aggressive a couple of times before he did get caught out when he pushed down towards the bottom right, but sitting a little further back, and it looks like a more decisive B play possibly coming out of 3D Max. They are down to a bit of a mixed bag, UMP and a Tech 9, so not the best investment.
Well, he's gone for a UMP, but he's got a molly. So he's chosen to go with it and invest. We'll see how it works out for Natu. And there's the molly been thrown out. It was thrown into the bottom of drop. SMF this time is not there. He's hiding around the corner of window. This is a battle that's been going back and forward between them. 3D Max pushing 3 members in. That's a good start for Asilion. Gets himself the double. Natu has got in. We're going to have to smoke off that molly and try and push on through. Karun's going to jump one down. It could go any way, and SMF ends up coming out on top. The bomb actually on top of there. He should be able to pick that up easily. Just needs to come around to it. But unfortunately, he's pinned off, and Hunden gets himself an important kill because he's been looking for them. Only 4 kills throughout the entire game so far, alongside Disturbed. But Asilion has been stepping up for the Wolves in this half. He's got 14 frags so far.
Yeah, considering how well he's been kind of switching stuff up on the B site, we think back to the boost that came out that stopped them pushing out with the 2 players that he picked up then. He actually pushed up, I think, to the platform behind the box, picked up 2. So kind of being a disposable player, he'll do the impact and then probably die for it, but the impact has been working this time. Now the T side looking very Olaf-ish here. It makes me a little nervous, but the CT's playing quite far back. Asilion not going that close up. He's going to get overwhelmed soon. Look at these guys, they're pouring in, but Asilion finds out Garon, but SMF going to find Stonda. The 3 players here, they should be able to get the bomb down. I don't think the CTs are going to just push haphazardly in there.
London forced away from the rock there by the molly. Bomb plant will go down. Disturbed in a great position. Oh, he needed to make more use of that. He got the elements of surprise, but didn't land the opening shot which he needed to. That means the rest of his team, which has been cut down at the site. And the Wolves will get themselves a 6th round on the board. You've got to feel Disturbed had to have done better in that situation.
Yeah, the opportunity was there, but you know, sometimes it doesn't always fall into place at the right time, sadly. But 6-7 still the scoreline. It is quite an even map. But maybe 3D Max getting a little bit frustrated now, wanting to maybe break past this. Because how many in a row did have Copenhagen Wolves got? So
6, all 6.
Yeah, yep. So they've literally gone back-to-back with these. So back-to-back rounds for them may get a little frustrating, so I want to see how they pick it up. I want to see if 3D Max can even find these opening picks that were working so well for them at the start. But now it looks like Asilion actually went for the aggressive peak but got shut down. That's a big difference.
That's a big opener as well. Hunden does manage to get the incendiary out. That's going to slow them down. They're going to have to run through the flames. Natu gets around the backside, gets MF down. Doesn't get Hunden down though. He's still holding them, still preventing them getting this plant while the rotations come. The rest of the Wolves are going to join them, but Freeze just gets dropped where he stands as soon as he comes through the door by Stonda. Now, just 2 members left. Low hit points for both 3D Max and the Wolves here. Stonda doesn't care about hit points. He managed to just rattle another shot off. But Hunden, it's a one-on-one. But Karun once again delivers for 3D Max in his clutch situations and picks up the 8th round for 3D Max.
And the bomb was pretty much in the hands of Copenhagen Wolves then. They had it down where they could see, but yeah, as you said, Karun really coming up big in some of these situations. This has been a tournament to really display how well he can start performing on the scoreboard, maybe not at the very tip top, but he's been doing some important work. That initial lurking role he played towards A, pushing around behind them on the pistol, all paying off well. However, a very different start this time. The pop flash through the smoke comes in, puts Snappy on the back foot, and he's going to have to go for the aggressive pickup, doesn't get it Disturbed, stops him in his tracks, and actually the T-side making good progress through towards A, forcing SMF and Asilion to start rotating.
Natu once again breaks his way into B site. He's cleared that site out. I wonder if that's going to maybe call the rotate for 3D Max. They've gone pretty deep into the A site, so they may not back away from this one. Freeze has his eyes on the pit, and he's not looking at where Karun has managed to creep up. He's got the side of him. Freeze does land the shot. That's going to give his position away. Karun actually nicely flashed out as well there. There's the cross that they needed. SMF trying to cover him off. He's smoked off. That gives Karun the free opportunity to get onto Freeze, but he's looking the wrong side.
I wonder if he's going to check.
Now he knows. Now he knows. He sees the shadow, but SMF gets the cover fire down. Brilliantly done. Freeze gets himself another. And what could have been a good round for 3D Max has turned very much in the Wolves' favour. It's 8-7 though overall. It's a good half for 3D Max, no matter which way you put it. Those opening 7 rounds absolutely gave them a great score.
Yeah, they've got to be pleased with that. But Copenhagen Wars, once they started going, some of the crossfires they set up, like we saw it especially on A couple of rounds when I think it was really much pushing up long, and there was two players just tucked in towards the side. I think it was Snappy and Freeze just kind of baiting each other out, leaving Snappy to be the guy to pick it up when they pushed towards the site. Really nice, and we saw it then as well. So Freeze kind of put himself in a position where the likes of SMF would have to cover him off if they committed towards it. So showing that they can certainly set these up. So there is a lot of class in this team. I think it was Devil Walk and Machine earlier on who touched on the fact that Freeze was one of the original players to come to these events here in the ESL studios when CSGO first came to this entire place. I think he was playing with either Fnatic back then, very early on in the times, and it's great to see him finding a little bit of form here, showing that he can still hit a couple of those good AWP shots, a little bit hit and miss at times, but I want to see how well he can kind of transform that now to the T side.
Well, they know, of course, that the second map is Nuke, and that is very much 3D Max territory. They lost 16-8 on that just last week, so they know they have to get a big T side now. 8 rounds is what 3D Max managed to gather. They're going to have to go one better than that to take this victory. Let's see if it works out for them. Here they go. The T-side pistol is definitely something they need to get.
Yeah, 2 mollies, Zart and Karon both going for it. Stonda getting great information, and I think he saw at least 3, maybe 4, and a very quick push coming out from the T's. They are making a huge play towards A. No one yet to go down. Stonda right amongst the Wolves. This could be insane. Disturbed and Stonda getting it back to back, and this is big for 3D Max, breaking and stopping the confidence Copenhagen Wolves would have built right where it started.
Well, they managed to use one of those mollies. Karun held on to the second one, but that flash, like you said, the information gathered as soon as he saw them all crossing, the flash straight from the door, caught 3 of them completely blind, and they gave 3D Max all the time that they needed to get themselves around there. 9-7 now with that pistol picked up. We're going to see the Tech 9s, the Rec 9s. Are they going to be able to be as deadly as they were before as they make their way onto B side?
And I like the early aggression from 3D Max to get the information. Stonda and Disturbed on the other side have been just probing very early, so they know it's probably not an A, or at least not a fast A, so they are completely focused here. Natu using the smoke well, putting that SMG through his paces, and it's just giving me flashbacks to Nuke now, watching him hold that upper bomb site, and the smoke, the nades, the mollies, all being put down. And pretty much, Copenhagen Wars being slapped back into place.
Yeah, forced back and gave them everything they needed, and Zart manages to get 1. Doesn't get the second, though. He's going to get pressured here. But, well, he's got the Bison, he's got all the bullets he needs, and he just mows them down. Natu gets himself 3 as well that round. SMG power, man. There it is.
It's strange seeing a Bison, and funny enough, for that exact same skin, a couple of people really do like the Bison. That it's clearly put a smile on 3D Max's faces, so maybe that little bit of blue is working out for Zart there, coming up big with it, and it's in a great position. As you mentioned, there's a lot of bullets in that thing. You can just keep rattling them off as they come down drop, so it worked out well. And they're sticking with it. Why not? Clean eco coming out for the T side. They're just going to try and probably get a couple of guns away if possible. But it's going to be a tough round here.
Well, that grenade's going to be at the feet. Freeze and SMF took a good 100+ hit points off the pair of them. And that was again yet another quick early scope out. It was Disturbed, I think it was, that managed to get himself, the vision. Disturbed that managed to get the look around there, caught them
pushed up early,
peeking. Now they're going to stack, now they're going to change direction, but look, Zart once again in position, Bison ready to go. All the bullets in the world required, and then she's going to run straight into Natu. He just guns them all down, straight in towards them. And that's another clean pickup for 3D Max, not a man going down.
You know what, I was asking questions about, will we really see those SMGs coming into play? Yeah, we will. And that man is just like the champion of it now. That was just crazy. But, in those small doorways, as I said, Nuke up a bomb site, he was watching, I think he got 3 when they pushed out. If you hold these close angles and you can define the space they can move in, that gun will rip them to shreds. And still, a Bison in play, a Scouts in play, the T side are going for this full-in buy. This could maybe hurt 3D Max here, or could work out perfectly. It's very risky, though. Yeah,
have they held on a little too long? Because those AKs are a lot more deadlier than the pistols they were pulling a minute ago. Disturbed's going to find 1. It's SMF, though, that comes out on top. Stonda backs away. That grenade will cover his escape, but only just for a little moment, and that's the A site opened up. You can see Natu desperately trying to rotate, gets himself behind the van, will not quite cover up the site, but Copenhagen Wolves chose to slow things down themselves there. They were expecting the fast rotate, so why not? They've got 2 opening frags. Let's just steady things down and see what 3D Max do about it.
Yeah, big question here. And as you said, did they stick around with these SMGs a little too long?
Natu's getting edgy. He's pushed right up here. He wants to check. He wants to check.
Look at that flash, it's perfect. He gets a pop flash. Spray was a little lacking, but the Tech 9 is not going to let him down. Oh, Natu! That was 4 back-to-back. Absolutely insane play. That was sensational.
Yeah, his M4 let him down, but he had a Tech 9 in his backup. That's exactly what he needed. 3D Max, 12-7 up. And just when Copenhagen Wolves think they've got themselves a good couple of entries, Natu does this.
He had no bullets left on the M4, switches over, and it's just headshot after headshot. It's a railgun, I'm certain of it. We've gone back to Quake. I don't know, this gun just goes in a line perfectly. But Disturbed still. Molly's down. He's, slowing him down this time. Last time got overwhelmed. Dart watching the cross. The T's are just being funneled into 3D Max, who are ripping them limb from limb. And hell, one other Tech 9 for Zart as well.
Well, another 4K, why not? So Zart, everybody getting those stats padded out nicely now. 3D Max, 13-7. Starting to get themselves a good rhythm going on the CT side. And worryingly for the Wolves, they need to get something, anything, started off. But now is the time to do it. Freeze has got himself the AWP. They have to play it a little slower, I feel, because the fast game was playing into the hands of 3D Max. And even when they got those opening, they weren't able to back it up with anything. It's going to be a stack once again. Disturbed again, getting all the information required, gets that flash, slows them down. Got a glimpse and backs away. So now they know this is where they're pushing. Again, Molly in the same place. This is identical to the last 3 rounds. The same play Copenhagen Wolves are trying, and it's just not working for them.
They had all the advantages, but so many of these rounds have swung off of stuff that shouldn't happen in a way. Like when they overtook, maybe 3D Max staying a little too long on the SMGs. Great start. And then Natu happened. And now, once again, they've got the guns. And look at this aggression. Natu feeling a little confident, gets shut down by SMF, holding that aggressive angle that, kind of covered off Hunden, I think it was. So that really nicely done, opening in their favor for once. And now they need to turn this into a round win.
Cilion's going to go for a peek. Zart is ready and waiting. That flash is going to pop down, but he's still smoked off, doesn't quite get a glimpse of him. Stonda is going to back up to sight as they push on through. Remember, Natu's already been taken down now. Oh, Stonda, that shot looked so close to being on. He gets it the second time of asking. SMF goes down as well. Freezer is holding the angle right now. As soon as Stonda peeks around that corner, but he gets himself a third. Snappy now does get taken down on sight, and Cilion, with 7 seconds to go, has to try and get something. But Karun turns around, and it's 14-7 now. 3D Max 2 rounds away. Some beautiful open from Stonda.
Yeah, missing the first then, but you can see that quick snap on the second. Stunning, and, I think he got even the third here, just, kind of shoulder peeking it out, waiting for the push in, and just shot by shot, absolutely pixel perfect. And this is a dangerous 3D Max. This is a 3D Max that you occasionally saw kind of popping up in the past, picking up these occasional really strong performances. Asus ROG, I think it was, our ROG, was one of the places they did really well. But now they're looking like a team that can actually win with it. Nice try on the cheeky boost there, but Natu again. This guy is just on fire right now. The rest of his team playing cleanup. And now Snappy, Bomb is so far away from him. It may as well be an absolute country mile, because Disturbed, Zart all know what's up. They're watching it, they're slowing him down. And he's going to have to fight, pixel by pixel, step by step to even get halfway to that side.
Yeah, they're just burning him away from this one. Working so well for them. This is, as you say, the 3D Max looking good. It's the 3D Max that were putting Titan through the paces on the first map until that one moment.
Oh,
and that's maybe
Snappy,
the one moment that could happen. Snappy gets himself a double. And now Stonda, who just had a great 3K in the last round, is now up against Snappy, who should be able to get the plant down if he can get across to it. He knows he's got a bit of ground to cover off, but we can see from Stonda's angle what he's covering. Now he hears the bomb moving around and he's pushing forward. Good flash comes out. But Stonda gets himself down, and now map point for 3D Max. And the Wolves on their own map are really in trouble.
And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the Wolves have actually picked up a round yet on the T side. A little bit of a struggle right now. Zart, Stond, and Natu all stepping up perfectly. Disturbed and Karon playing their roles well. And now it's just what can the Copenhagen Wolves bring to the plate? Can they find any weakness, any quick, cheesy play to maybe get them around on the board to maybe extend the inevitable? But for now, 7-15, it's not impossible. We've seen some ridiculous scorelines turned already in the last couple of days, but good flash from Karon there, slowing down the T's a little, getting him further up towards that platform. And here comes the play. T-side started pouring, perfect flash again. Zart back to back, leaving 3 alive for the Copenhagen Wolves, who aren't in a position to do much with it.
And they're not even gone for a fast rotate either. They know that he's handled the situation already, and that's going to slow things down. Now they're coming in. That didn't quite land where it wanted to. Freeze wall drop down, gets 2. Nicely done. Zart is coming around the back of him though. It's going to be, well, Stonder just leaping straight into the doorway and picks himself up an easy round, and more importantly, the map for 3D Max, and you can see the joy on Natu's face. Not quite what they were expecting, I think, when they saw Cobblestone picked early on, but a delightful win for them nonetheless. And now, as they move on to Nuke, their map choice, they are in prime position for this one.
Yeah.